Mm.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sankofa Mahat Raja Hudamis Haro. I am the Energy God. Welcome to the Mind of Sankofa podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking on a special topic. We're going to be speaking on different concepts of astrology. And we have intuitive reader, astrology enthusiast with us, Mystic Red. Good evening. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, Mystic. I'm doing good. Yes. So I've been following you on social media. And what I've observed is a lot of the things that you say, specifically about my sign, Sagittarius,
Hmm.
and a lot of the things that you say is very accurate. And I felt the need to do this interview because of your accuracy. I wanted to find out more about you and what you have to offer.
Hmm.
So we're gonna start off with where you were born and where you grew up.
Okay, so I was technically born in Chicago, but I was raised in Puerto Rico. So my mom had me immediately after moved back to Puerto Rico because this is where my family is originally from. So my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, and me, and my cousin too. So it was kind of a weird, unorthodox kind of family dynamic. But all moved back to Puerto Rico and I was raised there until I was 16. So, yes.
Okay, that's pretty dope. Chi-Town and Puerto Rico. That's pretty dope. Can I ask you what made you move to Puerto Rico at that age?
With that I don't know. That's family. I don't to this day I really don't know. I don't know if it was better over there, if it was harder over here. I don't know necessarily all the details and entails. But my family as a whole is a small family. You know, I know there's people that have bigger families or whatever, but my family was one small, two tight knit, and three, I don't want to say there was like secrecy, but there were a lot of things that I didn't know when I was a kid. And I think like my family purposely or not decided not to tell me, or maybe they thought it wasn't important to tell me. Whatever the case may be, there's still some things that I still don't know about, family members and things of that nature, or why certain things happen. But, you know, it happened and I had the experience that I had to. Now I know astrologically wise, when I got into my birth chart, um, the things that I had to go through, especially in my childhood, that have helped me become the person that I am now. So it all kind of makes sense and it all correlates together. But yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So family is family, and everybody make these decisions. But I'm Haitian, so I was thinking like maybe they wanted you to experience some of the culture, some of the farmland out
Maybe
there, some of the sites out
that
there.
could be the case. Yes, that I mean that could be the case. That most definitely could be the case. I don't know. For me, I have a feeling that maybe it was my grandma, my grandpa, maybe they wanted to move back because they're the ones that are originally from there, spend the most time there, grew up there, so they're part of my ancestors. So, um, I think maybe that's why, mainly why they moved back, because I feel like Puerto Rico is their home and that's where they're comfortable with. Out here, not so much, right? And their first language is Spanish, so I think that might have a reasoning behind that, maybe, but who knows?
So what did you see out there? What was like the environment like out there?
Oh God, hot all the damn time. It was like never. Most of the days were 90s, if not high 80s, but most of the time 90s. Definitely a lot of hundreds. Holy crap! So when people talk about how the heat has been in like Arizona and Texas and all that, trust me, I know. Um, But that part I don't miss so much. That part I don't miss so much. The beach was amazing. I'll never forget the smell of like seawater, like the beach. I'll never forget
Okay.
that. Um, palm trees. God, I miss my color. I'm a white girl. Like I am pale. Like my family, most of the people in my family have a little bit more color. Like we call it trigueño or whatever, which is like not necessarily black or darker skin color, but something in the middle, right? Like light skin, but still got a little bit of color. Most people in my family are trigueños, but me and like another one or two of us, we came out white. We came out paley ass white. So I miss my color, even though it wasn't that big of a difference, but it was still something. Now I'm like so pale. It's crazy. I look like a ghost. Um, there's a lot of things I miss. I miss the culture. I miss the food. Hello, the food is amazing. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
the music, the dancing. I miss the dancing so much. I miss like the old people dancing to like salsa and merengue. We have what's it called? Oh, I've got chinchorro. That's what it's called. Chinchorro is like there are certain places in each town that there's like it's like a little bar thing in the corner. It's kind of like an open area. You can get your drink. There's maybe like a pool table. There's maybe an area to dance or whatever. And there would be like these places in specific towns that their streets would be long as hell, and it would be full with chinchorros, little bars, little places you can go to dance, to mingle, to drink, hang out, all that stuff. So that is something that I miss as well, is the nightlife, the entertainment life. People like to be out and enjoy themselves. Some people do a little too excessively, but I enjoyed that part as well. People just love life out there, I feel like.
Yeah, it's always good to go outside the country.
Yes.
Yeah, and my godfather, he's Puerto Rican too. I think I told you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yes, you
Puerto
briefly
Rican. We
told
gotta
me.
we gotta go out there and enjoy some what did you say, chinchorro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta tell them. You gotta be like, we're gonna go to a chinchorro. Yes.
Chinchorro. That's what's up.
Un chinchorro.
So you
Yeah.
have a very special spiritual gift that we're gonna get into in a few minutes. But I want to know more about your upbringing in Puerto Rico. What was your religious practice or your spiritual practice when you was growing up out there in Puerto Rico?
Um, well, my religious experience when I grew up, my family was religious, not like, there's extremists and then, there's kind of something in the middle, maybe not so much. I think like when I was growing up, it was a little bit more strict, but as I was getting into like my preteen and my teenage years, it got a little bit um less, it was a little bit lighter. Like it wasn't as strict. It wasn't as you got to do this. My mother wanted me to go to church with her. She wanted me to do like Sunday school, things of that nature, and be with like the kids around my age and do Bible school and all that stuff, Bible study. I'm like, that's not my thing. I don't want to. That's lame. That's just it's just didn't I didn't resonate with it. It didn't resonate with me ever since I was a kid. I never bought it. I never bought it. Never ever. And I know it might have been a little bit um annoying or frustrating for my mom or whatever, but I think at the same time, and this also I think maybe dives into a little bit of her moon sign, which is her emotional side or whatever. But she was very much, I feel like
Mm.
she understood my sun sign because her moon sign is the same as my sun sign. So I'm an Aquarius sun, right? Her moon, the way that she feels is an Aquarius. So I feel like my sun and her moon kind of understood that about me, where I was a little bit more of a rebellious streak. I was more unorthodox. She knew that I was different. And, you know, it might have been a little bit, again, frustrating. Maybe I feel like she did want to control me a little bit in some aspect because she didn't know what I was capable of, or where my mind would go if I didn't have some sort of maybe religious background for me to just hang on to. So it's like, what are you going to be if you don't follow God or a religion? I think she tried to control me, but at the same time, again, her moon and my sun, I think she understood that I was different. So at some point in time, she kind of gave up on that, trying to get me to go to, to school and all, or not school, to church and all that stuff. But she would still talk about God. She would constantly have like Christian music on in the car. Um, if I would ever get in trouble, and us Hispanics,
Mhm.
us Puerto Ricans, we get in trouble. We get the whooping. We get the chancleta. That's what they call it. We get the flip flop,
Mhm.
and or
Well, us
we
Haitians,
would get
we get the iguas.
the
You
who?
know, the iguas. It's
What
like
is
a
that?
that's like the long thin branch stick, and they go get that. Your grandmother go get
Ah,
that, rip that off the tree, start whooping that ass, and your whole
ah.
back be hot.
See? Ah, yeah. So we
Yeah.
see we have a similar upbringing. So we know like we get beat up. We get beat up. It'll be
Mhm.
either the hand, it would be the flip flop. They've done that too. But I feel like that I only what, you just triggered a past memory that I haven't thought of in a long time because that happened to me too. That was a very
Mhm.
long time ago. So that's crazy
Mhm.
that you triggered that and I remember that. But
Do you
I don't even know
remember
how old I was.
when we wasn't able to like speak when grown-ups were speaking? It's like they would
Yeah,
be
like it's
talking in the
like
room. Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
they
yeah,
wouldn't allow us to speak, and like they wouldn't allow us to
yeah,
intervene or nothing like that. That was like
yeah. Like
really
they
back
would,
in the
if
day.
we would say something, that it would be like something different that they're saying or trying to like because we were smart. We were smart as fuck when we were young. Even when we were younger, we had like our minds were like so much more bigger and intelligent than we ever realized, right? So we would pick up on shit that the adults were doing, like shady shit or like things that didn't make sense. We would question. We want to question what they were saying or what they're doing or their actions, the meaning behind it. So if I would try to say something because that was me, I would try and say something. I would get the whooping or I would like get yelled at, or whatever, something that they would make me cry. I learned that I had to shut up. I'm like, I guess I'm a kid and they don't care and they want me to shut up and not be a smartass and let the adults be the adults. I understood that at a very young age. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Me too. So
yeah.
with that being said, you was the black sheep of the family. Your mom obviously saw that there was a disconnect between you and religion at a very early age. So at what
Yeah.
point, what age did you finally say, you know what, this is it. I can't do this no more. This is not really working for me. I'm into other things. Mom, it's time for me to leave the church.
I mean, it's not necessarily that I had to tell her I had to leave the church because, again, they tried, she tried to, but at the same time, she kind of let it go, and there was nothing spoken of it. She just let me be the way that I chose to be, and there was no negative impact about it. There was no like, why aren't you going to church? No, it was never imposed to me like that
That's what's up.
after some years, like it was never imposed to me like that. It's not like, well, if you don't go to church you never be saved. No, it was not like that. So again, it wasn't like, that's why I told you my like there's extremists, and I was kind of in the middle. When I was younger was a little bit more stricter, but as I grew older and she kind of just let go of that and just let me be, there was nothing. She would never held that against me. She kind of accepted that at this point. Like she is who she is.
Mhm.
So I didn't really think of anything of like a higher power or a god or source or spirit or nothing like that. Um, until my late 20s, until like 27. And I'm in my 30s now. So when I was 27, not too long ago, was when I started really my spiritual journey, 27, 28.
Okay,
And
okay, we gonna
yeah,
get into that.
yeah.
Before we get into the spiritual gifts that you have, which is very, very special. I want to talk about because during the pre-interview you mentioned that your mom had a friend
Oh
that
yeah.
used to
Yeah.
practice a particular spirituality. And what was this particular spiritual? Was it Puerto Rican Vodun? Was it what is that, 21 divisions? Was it Santeria?
Oh,
What was this type of spirituality that you used to see this person practice?
honestly, I was very young and um it was crazy too because I remember so many times when I was young. I'm like, I hope I remember this when I'm older. I remember myself telling me this. I'm like, I hope I remember this when I'm older. Like my mind would go, and I don't remember. Yes, it's bad. Um, but what I do remember is that my mother had this particular friend. I believe that she was this person. I don't know what it was. It was a man, but sometimes he could be like very feminine and have this like feminine side. And you could totally believe, and she could totally pass as a female. She would have different personalities. It's like different entities would like come in her body and use her body and for whatever it is. My
But
mother said that
biologically,
there
this
was
person is a
spirits.
man?
Yes, yes, yes,
Wow. Okay.
yes. It was weird, and he would look like a female gay man. Was he? I don't know. But when he would have these personalities, he my mother would say that it was spirits that would like that follow him around and they, take over him or whatever. And it would be like different spirits that would like he would take care of him or they would watch over him or I don't know. Now thinking about it, I'm like, maybe he was schizophrenic. I don't know.
Mhm.
But that's what I was exposed to. My mother said that he, had just different personalities coming in here and there, and you don't know what you're gonna get. And there was one day that we were at his house, and I want to say it was Santeria, but I'm not really 100% sure. But to
Mhm.
me, the little bit that I remember, that's what it seemed like. But again, I could be wrong. It could be voodoo. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely
Um,
practice Puerto Rican voodoo out there in Puerto
mm-hmm.
Rico. They
Right, and
call it
that wouldn't surprise me.
brujeria.
Exactly, exactly. So I could believe it could be brujeria. I could believe that it could be Santeria too. So it could maybe be one or both. Who knows? But I could definitely see them one of those be it. But
If you
they
were to
did
see
some sort
this
of egg
man
cleanse.
today, would you spark a conversation and ask this man about what you used to see him do back in
Oh
the
hell
day?
yeah. Oh my God, I would love to. Are you kidding me? I would
What do
love
you
to see
think
this man
happened to
again.
him?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's something that when I forget about these things or when I don't know exactly what happened because again, my family was a little bit secretive. There was things that I wasn't exposed to that I didn't know that my mother didn't tell me or my elders did not talk about. I was very much an isolated person. I'm an Aquarius fourth fourth house sun. So your fourth house is your home and your security. I was very much like my home and my security was me being by myself in my own little world. So the reasonings why, um, they stopped talking because I know at some point in time she completely just didn't have him as a friend. There was a couple people and my mom stopped being friends with. My mom was a very popular person. She loved to go out. She loved to do. She was a very people person, and I was the complete opposite. I didn't like people that very much when I was younger. Um, so she would always hang around weird people, I swear, like from different walks of life. And I don't know what happened to him. I really don't. But anyways, back to the story. So we were at his house and my mother was like, take off your clothes or whatever. I'm like, why? And I'm like, I'm so confused. And she told me that he was gonna come in the bathroom, do something really quick. And he wasn't gonna do anything to you, so he wasn't gonna touch you in some sort of way or nothing like that. Just, you know, let it happen. Just trust and it's gonna be okay. So I had to be naked and this person came in with an egg. I think it was either one or two eggs. But he was rolling around the egg around my body, around my, down my arms, down my legs, above my head, everywhere. And then he would like clap every time he would like, if he finished my left arm, after that he would clap. He would do like my leg, one of my legs, he would clap. So he was trying to maybe release something, or I don't know what exactly, but trying to remove something. I don't know what it was, but after that he
Giving
like
you an egg
cracked open the
cleansing.
eggs. Yeah, so after that he cracked open the egg, and I think I had to take a shower or something, but I was in the water there for a little bit. Um and yeah, and after that, I just got out and put my clothes back on. I didn't understand it. Um I think a lot of things that I don't remember, maybe there is like trauma also involved in it,
Hmm.
because I was a very sensitive child ever since I was little, meaning that I can feel very strongly about certain things. And even though I don't exactly know what I was feeling, I knew they were intense, right? And it would give me anxiety. It was like too much for me to experience. And I didn't know, like, the fear came from, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. What's happening. So that feeling in me causes for a lot of traumatic events in my life. I was a very scared person, scared kid. Um, I'm a Scorpio rising, so like I feel like that's also partially part of it, because Scorpio rising, like they can live very sad lives, traumatic lives. They live in fear for a very long time until they learn how to transmute that fear and to use it as their power, and to not, give away their power so much to fear. But
Hmm.
gaining your own sense of power, and not letting yourself be ruled by fear, that comes along, or for a very long time. It takes a long time for a Scorpio rising to get there, but
Hmm.
I was very much scared. Oh my God. I went through a lot of traumatic things that I know I don't remember. It's funny because if I have to remember something, or maybe like my cousin tells me about something, or maybe my best friend that I still have when I was like a baby, she still lives in Puerto Rico. She's still there. That's like my one of my only contacts that I still have there, and I still talk to her. And she reminds me of things. I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember this. She's like, I know, it's because you were crying, or you were scared, or you were this or that. I'm like, maybe I don't remember because it was traumatic. So that could partially be as well why I don't remember certain things. But I remember the emotion behind it, though. I still remember that.
Hmm. Okay, that's what's up. That story is very interesting.
Yes, I
That's,
don't I don't know what happened after that.
yeah.
I don't know, but I do remember getting out of the shower and putting a towel around myself. That's it.
Okay, so a lot of people that's listening to this, because you are not initiated into any ATRs like African traditional religions,
No,
or any Afro Latino, spiritual religions, right?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay. So a lot of my listeners, they some are, some are not. Some are like what we call profiles. They they do a lot of studying. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, but we know that that's an egg cleansing, and they was removing some negative energy, from
Yeah,
your aura. And
yeah.
I think, yeah, I think you should look for this guy. Ask somebody maybe back home, maybe of his whereabouts or whatever the case may be, and then you can get some
Mm.
more information on him. See what he used to actually do and stuff like that.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's really a way to contact him. Like my mother
Okay.
passed away, so I don't know. I don't even know his name. I can't even, start to remotely do something. I don't even have a name. So who
Wow.
knows?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I wish I
Understood.
could, but no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That would be dope. Yeah. So you were intuitive reader. You utilized the tarot, and you are
Mm-hmm.
also an astrology enthusiast.
Yes,
So,
I'm not. I don't call myself an astrologer.
okay, okay, understood. Okay, so how did you first started getting into astrology? There was when we did the pre-interview, you said that you got to a point where you were sick.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So
so we could start from.
hold on one second. Am I? Okay. I think I thought I was seeing something outside. But anyway, so when was this? I want to say 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
I I had an emergency operation or whatever. I started to feel pain. Um, uh, what ended up happening was that I had a cyst that was like a big ass hard cyst, and there was another one growing. So they had to remove one ovary.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so they had to remove that. So I had to go through emergency again, surgery or whatever. So I was out for 6 weeks. Um, so after they did all that and I was recovering and I was staying with my aunt, that's when I was always into astrology. I always, I read my birth chart. I would read like my friends' birth charts and I would watch a lot of YouTube. I would watch a lot of astrologers. And I would also, watch tarot as well. And it always interested me, but I never really took the time to really learn it, to really read something about it, or really just focus my time and my energy into practicing it. Um, so during that time, I had the time. I was just, trying to recover myself so that I can get back to work. So I just started putting all my time and energy into um, reading. I got some tarot cards. It wasn't my first deck. I already had one, but I actually bought one that I liked because the one that I got was a gift. There's this myth. It's not really a myth, but people believe it's a myth. Some people, not everybody, but some people believe that, oh, your first tarot deck should be bought, by somebody. It shouldn't be bought by yourself. It should be a gift. And I never really believed that. Again, I'm an Aquarius. I will rebel to whatever it is that you're believing. I will rebel and I will make my own belief about it. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm gonna buy myself a fucking tarot deck because I want to buy myself a tarot deck.
Mhm.
So the first deck I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I still use it. I still practice and all that stuff. And I read like, some of the definitions and I kind of tried to pinpoint what exactly the cards were telling me. But then I bought the deck that I actually wanted. I bought a couple books, um, and I just really started to get dive in deeper with it there, and then it just kind of escalated into where I am now. But I feel like if I didn't really have that time, if I didn't, yeah, if I didn't have that time to really just do nothing, it's crazy. But sometimes, life can be hectic and we're just going, 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 going. And we're doing so many other things. We're working, we don't have time. Sometimes those things have to happen for us to really realize, like, wait a minute, I should really, really get into this more and really study this more. Because it really is something that is intriguing to me. And I don't know why that is, but I need to explore that feeling. I need to explore why that is because there has to be a reason behind that. Um, and my connection to source, to spirit, to God has been growing stronger ever since it all started that time in that trial period, like in those 6 weeks. And I had ups and downs. I had moments where I wasn't believing, where I wasn't doing anything, where I was like, doing the same old things that I used to be doing, wasting my time. Um, not putting any like discipline within myself. My self-worth was like, shot to hell. So
Mhm.
spirituality and my connection to the divine has been a saving grace for me because I feel like if I didn't I'm starting to realize now the more that I'm grateful because we all have something to be grateful for, right? But sometimes we forget to show that gratitude or we forget that we actually are so blessed and so protected. We don't actually have the time to just sit and be like, damn, like actually things have been working out, but I'm so focused on things going a certain way, or maybe I'm lacking in some sort of department and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's why I'm not seeing the results that I want. I can't just put it all to like my life sucks. God has been with me this whole time, but I also have to do my part as well. and just showing that gratitude of how far you've come and how much you've gone through, has like I've seen that, because the more that you show gratitude, the more you're going to experience it, the more blessings are coming your way. And I've already seen that now. So for me to
Hmm.
get to this point from where I was a kid and I'm like, what, church, God, who, is crazy to me. It's crazy. But um it's been growing stronger and stronger. So and this again, this happened when I was like 27, 28, and I've gone with like I've had my ups and downs with it. Um so it hasn't been that long. Um, but it feels like it's been long too at the same time.
Okay. Okay. I believe in like people come into this life with certain gifts, and
Yeah.
it could be something that they did in their past lives. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that reverberating from that past life. I believe, a lot of us go through that. So what you're saying right now, it sounds very, understandable.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it could definitely, I could see that. I told myself, and I still believe it, that I was like a psychologist in a past life. I feel like I had patients come to me and talk to me about their problems, and I would just let them
Mhm.
know, like, pinpoint, like, what it is that you're doing wrong or what you're not seeing, or, um, you know, where you're limiting yourself. Wherever the problem is, I could probably break it down to you pretty well. I think I did that in a past life. I think that's
Like
why
a
with
priestess or a
tarot,
goddess or something. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, but more of like a maybe like someone you confide in. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I definitely see I feel like I did this in a past life because that's very intriguing to me. I like psychology anyways. I think the human mind is a crazy, beautiful thing that you can go down a rabbit hole as to like why you do certain things and how you've been just brought up in the world and everything that your brain has picked up throughout the years. It's crazy. It's crazy how much your world has influenced you and you don't even know it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In correspondence to the zodiac,
Hmm.
Mystic Red, what do the planets represent?
Okay, so your sun sign is what represents who you are going to aspire to be in this life, right? That's who you're going to grow into. That's why sometimes a lot of people may not resonate so much with their sun sign. That has happened. Um, I was one of those people as well, and I still sometimes am, where I resonate more with my rising sign than my sun sign. So if somebody does or feel that way, they could maybe resonate with their rising sign instead, which is something that they should really look into. So your sun sign is what you're going to aspire to be. Your moon, so whatever zodiac sign the moon was in, that's going to represent how you're going to show your emotions. So remember, I looked up your charts.
Hmm.
So we're going to use you
Yeah.
as a guinea pig, sir.
Yes.
We're gonna use you as a guinea pig. Okay, so your sun is Sagittarius. You're aspiring to obviously learn and to reach your fullest capacity of knowledge. You just want to experience life and soak in any and everything that you possibly can, because your
Hmm.
thirst for life is what you aspire to be is your continuous thirst for life. That's Sagittarius energy, period. Right? Thirst for life and thirst for knowledge and thirst for that God stage in your life where you're like, I know everything. Well, Sagittarius wants to believe that they know everything, but there's still obviously more to learn. Sometimes Sagittarius can also get in their way because sometimes your way is not the right way. Or sometimes you don't know what you're talking about. You just think you know, but you don't know. That could be Sagittarius too.
Hmm.
So, moon is again how you show your emotions. So, you have your moon in Aries. Aries is the god of war. Aries, um, the planet that rules Aries is Mars. Mars is our actions, our drive, our ego. Literally, Mars is about fights and conflicts. And if Aries is, or if Mars is the ruler of Aries, and you have the moon, which is how you show your emotions in Aries, you are fiery. Your words can cut. Your words can cut deep. You can be very reckless, and just you say before you think, or you do before you think, right? You've probably done that a lot. So when you feel when you feel a certain type of way, man, you need to express that shit, and you need to let it out. And however it comes out, it may, like, people um may not like the way that it comes out, because maybe you're putting it out on them, but so they maybe take offense to it, maybe when you don't even try to, but it's just the way that it comes out, because it just comes out. You have no filter when it comes to your emotions sometimes. Very expressive. You're very expressive. You like to dominate, you like to take over the show. You make sure that you're heard first more than anybody else. I feel like you got to make sure that your point comes across before anybody else emotions come into play. Like, no, you're going to listen to me because this is how I feel, and this is how important it is to me. It's the principle about it. It's
You
the
are
principle
so
about
it's crazy.
it. So that's how your moon can be. Again, that's just because it's an Aries. If it was in different signs, it would be completely different. But we're using you as a guinea pig. So then we're going to go to Mercury. So Mercury is how we communicate. It's about plans, logistics, and just verbal interaction, ideas, bouncing off ideas off each other. Mercury can also be rule of technology, your phone, your computer, things of that nature. So your Mercury is in Sagittarius. So again, you have a lot of Sagittarius energy in your chart. You have 3 planets in Sagittarius. So your Sun, your Mercury, and your Venus are all in Sagittarius. So the way that you speak is, I'm dealing with a current Sagittarius in my life. I feel like I can talk about Sagittarius because I'm dealing with the Sagittarius. I'm dealing with the Sagittarius, and I'm dealing with a person that has 2 placements in Sagittarius, their Sun and their Mercury. Everything else is different. Everything else they got in different places, but their Mercury, oh my goodness, they have the same Mercury as you. When they speak, it's like it's again that same energy of, you think you know what you're talking about, but sometimes you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but you're imagining that and you're trying to put that out there to be like, no, I do know. No, you're not going to tell me that I'm wrong. But sometimes people need to break it down to you and be like, no, motherfucker, you actually are. Why don't you just own up to it? Yeah, that happens a lot with a Mercury Sagittarius. But like, at the end of the day, though, like, you guys do know a lot. I don't want to like say that you don't, because you do. You guys do know a lot. You guys intake a lot. But sometimes, again, that's where probably your words can come into play and can hurt too, because some things, they come out and your intent may not be to hurt. Your intent may not be to make people feel a certain type of way, but at the same time, you do want them to feel some type of way, because you want them to be moved by what you're saying, but you want them to feel what it is that you're trying to convey. And you're trying to convey this in the way that you the best that you can possibly can. But sometimes it's like, you can, from a 1 to 10, you maybe give it like you're at an 8, when your delivery didn't have to be at an 8. Your delivery could have been at a 4, and everybody could have taken your information way better, but you just chose to take it up here when it didn't have to be. So sometimes you have to read the room, and you have to be considerate of others, because it's it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you want to convey something and you want people to feel you and understand you. But at the same time, if you want people to feel you and understand you, then sometimes you have to kind of meet in the middle with them and understand, like, okay, I need to know how to give this energy and when I can go to a level 8 and where I need to kind of meet them right here, because I want my message to be understood. So I have to change and mold my way. That's because you're a mutable sign as well. Mutable signs can change and kind of um, shift around. So you have that ability to move around and be able to connect with different walks of life and different people. So you kind of have to meet with them in the middle for your message to be conveyed the way that you want it to. And you have to choose your words wisely, because sometimes your words can hurt again. And it's all the fire energy. You a fiery person. You got Aries in your moon, and you got all these Sagittarius placements. You a fiery person, period. So it's
Mhm.
knowing, how to use that energy wisely. Sometimes if fire signs or fire energy, or fire placements could learn how to, again, use that energy wisely and not just give all of it, but to give little bits and pieces so people can really intake it, and you're giving people the time to intake what you're trying to do or convey or say or do. Like, y'all could like speed shit up way faster sometimes, so because y'all can be impatient. But but anyways, let's continue. So Mercury is how you communicate. Venus is your love language, it's partnerships, it's what you enjoy, and what gives you that joy, what gives you that sense of luxury, of feeling good energy, things that just fulfill you. And it could be vain too, like Venus could be a very vain sign, because Libra and Taurus rule Venus. Libra can be a little vain, like Libra can just like pretty things just because they like pretty things, but they lack emotional intelligence, or they maybe emotionally can't connect. So again, it just all depends on what your sign is, and what uh, sign your Venus is in. But you have Sagittarius and Venus, so again, like, oh my God, how does a Sagittarius Venus express their love, or what do they enjoy? Well, definitely you need some freedom. You most definitely 100,000% need some freedom in your life.
That's
Sagittarius does
100%
not.
correct.
Yes, y'all do not like to be tamed. Y'all want to
Mhm.
do and be and whatever the way that you want it to be. You want it to flow. You don't want it to be. You don't want rules. You don't want restrictions.
Mhm.
Um,
That's 110%
if somebody can
correct.
put you on to some things, that's something that you like as well. You find that attractive. If somebody puts you on to something, or they can teach you something, or you can learn something from them, that's automatically a turn on. You enjoy having people around you that you can just learn from, and so like a sponge, you soak up information and knowledge from them like a sponge.
Most definitely.
Um, what else? You like to have fun. You like to enjoy yourself. You like to party a lot. You probably are like a completely different person when you get drunk or when you get high.
Mhm. I am. I am. Definitely
Really?
yeah, I'm very mellow when I'm high. I'm a very nice drunk. I'm very like, let's world peace type, let's all hug type shit.
No.
So I'm very
You
peaceful when I'm drunk.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. That's okay.
Mm.
See, this all depends on your Mars too, um but Sagittarius people in general, they are the one. Sagittarius and Pisces, y'all love your you know, your alcohol, your drinks, your
Mhm.
smoky smoke. Y'all enjoy that. Y'all love that. It's like you need that to a certain extent. Not like I need it every day, or else, I can't function as a person, but you need that in your lifestyle, so to speak. Like a little drink here and there, yes, I need that. That's something I need to enjoy myself with. A little smoke here and there, yes, I need that, because that's how I, mellow out and whatever, whatever. And I deserve that and I enjoy that.
Mhm.
So those two signs are the ones that I feel like are the ones that like to use substances more than others. Um, but I'm the same. I have a Venus in Pisces, and I'm the same way. Um, so what else? So let's talk about your Mars. So you have a Mars in Gemini, and you actually have the same Mars that I do. I have a Mars in Gemini, except I don't know
Okay,
what
that's awesome.
house your Mars is at. But the sister sign of Sagittarius actually is a Gemini. So if you may be attracted to people that have Gemini placements, or you may enjoy talking to people that have Gemini placements, just because of the fact that you have Sagittarius placements, and that's your opposite sign. See, we tend to attract sometimes, a lot of times actually, the opposite sign that we have. So like I'm an
Mhm.
Aquarius, my opposite sign is a Leo. I have a Leo in my life that can't leave me alone. It's crazy.
Mhm. Mhm. I get you.
But your Mars is, you're like me. You're like everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You want to do 10 things at the same time, but you can't. Um, your mind goes all over the place sometimes. Sometimes maybe it can be a little bit hard to keep track on certain things because maybe you
Mhm.
forget, or you were thinking about one thing and then the other thing comes up, and you're very flexible in that way. Again, that's a mutable sign as well. So it's easy for you to just come and go and change directions.
Mhm.
But sometimes you wish that maybe you could hone into these things and remember a little bit better, or like have some sort of structure in your ideas or in how you want to go about things.
Mhm.
Um, that's something that you have to learn. Maybe you already learned a little, maybe you do have a little system in place, who knows? But
Mhm.
I know for me, I still struggle sometimes because I need the ability to have flexibility, but at the same time I need the ability to put in structure and to stay focused on something. So it's a little bit with Mars and Gemini, because you really need to be able to have that. You need that flexibility because that's your nature, and you can't go
Mhm.
against your nature. You need that flexibility. That's who you are, but you need to implement a little bit more structure in that flexibility so that you can do more, so that you can accomplish more. That's the thing that I'm learning a little bit with Gemini, being in my Mars. So again, Mars is your action, how you assert yourself. It's flights and conflicts. It's the way that you again assert yourself and you put your movement into something. That's Mars. And Gemini rules communication. So you could be a fucking triple threat because you a Sagittarius. Your moon is in Aries. You got a Mercury in Sagittarius. Plus you got your Mars and Gemini, which rules communication, and Mercury at the same time. So you probably a triple threat when it comes to having a fight with you. Like I'd be afraid of what you're gonna tell me is gonna hurt my feelings. It's gonna crush my heart, crush my spirit, crush my soul, probably.
Mhm.
Like I would
I
never
see.
want to make you mad.
Mhm.
Um, but but the way that you need to talk things out. You're the way that you work best is by talking things out. You need to have some sort of way to communicate. And maybe that's why you do podcasts too, is a way to communicate, in a way to
Uh,
you know, to convey, like to give back to the collective, to give back. You want to inform people. Mars and Gemini, that's how you're asserting yourself, because you're communicating these things. You want people to intake this information. Hello, I'm a Mars and Gemini, and I do the same thing. I post on Facebook. Sometimes I do TikTok videos. Like I do tarot readings. The way that I'm moving myself, the way that I'm asserting myself is communication. I'm communicating, conveying something to the collective so that they could intake this information and use it for their benefit. You
you're
know?
doing a great job. You're doing a great job. All the stuff that you post and everything you do on social media is really good. I want people to follow you. You know, you do a good job on social media. Yeah.
I
Okay.
appreciate
Are
that.
you still going on my show?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, We have then, so these are like the planets that are a little bit farther away from our solar system. So, um, Jupiter, Jupiter and Saturn are definitely two of the planets that are like, they're the benefic and the malefic, and they're the ones that are going to be, I want to say, more impactful in life, period, like throughout time. Like you're gonna see moments in time in your life where like, I feel like that comes with when you're an adult too. Like maybe you'll see how Saturn has played a role in your life since you were young, and now that you're older and you kind of see it all play out, now you kind of understand why you had to go through certain trials and tribulations in order for you to get to where you are now. In order for you to reach the maturity that you've reached now, you had to go through certain things to get to where you are now. So Jupiter and Saturn are going to be the benefic and the malefic, because Saturn represents karma. It represents, again, trials and tribulations and challenges that you go through in this lifetime. It rules time. But that's where your biggest challenges are going to come in, is from Saturn. Everybody talks about Saturn because it really is a big deal. Dad, like Saturn is daddy for me. Like that's dad trying to like whoop me. Like, no, you fucking up, then you're gonna have to repeat the same lesson. You don't want to learn? Okay, here goes the same lesson. Like Saturn takes their time. Saturn is here. Saturn got all the time in the world. But if they're gonna continue to give you the same thing if you don't learn it the first time. That's Saturn right there. But it's all, at the end of the day though, it's love, because when you master something that you were afraid of, that Saturn had a firm grasp on you, and you decide, you know what, I'm not going to do the same thing that I used to do. I'm not going to repeat the same cycle. I'm not going to repeat the same shit because I know it's not going to lead me nowhere. Like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over and over again and expecting a different result. When you choose that different avenue, that's when Saturn's going to reward you, because you've learned your lesson. You're not continuing the same cycle. You've broken the cycle and now you chose differently, and Saturn's going to reward you. But to get there, ooh, it's a bitch. That's because Saturn don't play no games.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to deal with that Saturn energy.
Yes. And Jupiter is, well, first of all, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter also rules Pisces. That is Pisces' older ruler. Pisces, I guess, newer ruler is Neptune, which, I mean, I take both of them, but I'm more of a Pisces Jupiter sort of person, because if you think about it, astrology has been, practiced throughout the years, and its first original ruler was Jupiter. So I'm gonna go based off the people that you know found out about astrology and studied it and all of that. So your Jupiter is in Leo.
That's interesting.
I have a Jupiter in Leo as well, actually. That's funny.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes, I have a Jupiter in Leo as well. So Jupiter is all about luck and abundance and expansion, right? Like it could be good or bad expansion. See, Jupiter is the benefic here, where it gives you all the blessings, all the abundance, all the opportunities, all the everything. But at the same time, I feel like Jupiter also puts you through some situations where um maybe it's not going your way right now, but where's your faith anyways? You know what I'm saying? I feel like Jupiter really trusts your faith, and Jupiter really, like it's like, how much do you believe in me, or how much do you believe that you're going to get exactly what it is that you want? So I feel like Jupiter still puts you through things because it needs to know that you're ready to accept everything that you deserve. But you need to believe in that first and foremost, because how are you going to receive it if you're not embodying that right now? So with Leo being in it, you're meant to be in the spotlight. I'm meant to be in the spotlight too. like you being yourself, you're being your most authentic self and not, you know, trying to pretend somebody that you're not, or trying to put this facade or have this mask on, and just being yourself, being humble, being funny, and just being you and enjoying it. You know, it's not, you're not putting no restriction in being your most authentic self. That's what Leo represents, is your authentic self, is um enjoying who you are and embracing the spotlight that you naturally have. Maybe you've gotten attention before from family or friends and certain things that you're good at. I don't know. I'm asking.
You're asking me if is there certain like things I'm good at.
Yeah,
Um,
so you've got like gained attention from family or friends or somebody.
oh yeah, well, I'm a musician. I play a couple different instruments, and I grew up like
Oh,
yeah, playing in the church, playing, being a part of bands and stuff like that. So I was always
okay.
yeah, so I was always like playing in front of a large crowd of people and stuff.
Very Leo, very much a Leo. Did you know that Leo represents the performer and Aquarius represents the crowd?
Mm,
Yes.
no, I didn't know that. That's
Yes.
dope.
Yes. So you being center stage, or you being the center of attention, in some way, shape, or form, is very much Leo energy, because Leo attracts that naturally, because they're naturally gifted in something, in some way, shape, or form. So you just showing off your talents and your natural born talents and abilities, you being on center stage, is very Leo energy. So the more that you embody this energy and believe that you know, you can do more and you can put yourself out there and you're going to reach, you know, your potential, your biggest potential, I feel like the more you're going to be rewarded, because again, you have Jupiter here. So it's all about belief, but you have to believe in your own abilities. You have to believe in your talents, and put in the work. See, my Jupiter was in
Gotcha.
retrograde when I was born. So when something's in retrograde, like Jupiter being retrograde, it would be like
Mhm.
testing that faith, testing your beliefs of your abilities. Like, it's testing your self-worth, and if you believe in, you know, what you're capable of. You Do you believe in your natural born abilities, and you're going to put the work in to reach your fullest potential?
Yes, I do.
So then
Yes,
you have, no, go ahead.
oh no, and I was saying yes, I do. I've always believed that my God-given talents, if I, always like you said before, like put a structure behind it,
Mm-hmm.
it will lead me to places that I never could imagine that I would be.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And then you have Saturn, which again, we already talked a little bit about Saturn, but that is your karma. That is your restrictions in life, your challenges, your trials and tribulations, um, hardest lessons in life. That's Saturn right there. And you have that in Capricorn. You have three planets in Capricorn. I believe these planets are like Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune usually are like in a sign for, I don't remember how long. But usually these three planets will have the same sign for a certain for a couple of years. I forget how many, but um I'm trying to think of Saturn and Capricorn, because I have a Saturn and Capricorn as well. But see, I can talk about it because I have it in my third house, and I don't know what house you have Capricorn in. But basically, your lessons in life are going to be based around how disciplined you are, and how much energy and how much willpower you're gonna put into something, so you can really see the fruits of your labor. Even if you don't see it now, even if you don't believe in it now, you still have to. That's gonna be your biggest challenge, is continuing to is that continuation of keep moving forward even though you don't see any sort of progress. That's going to be your biggest challenge. That's Capricorn energy. Like, you don't see the progress that you're making until you like it's like you feel like you're never going to see the progress. You're never going to see what it is that you're trying to manifest in this world, but you have to continue anyways.
Mhm.
Then you have Uranus and you have Neptune. So Uranus talks about, it's like innovation. It's like sudden breakthroughs, and it could be a little bit all over the place. It could be a little disruptive. Uranus likes a little bit of disruption because Uranus understands that sometimes you have to dismantle something in order for something new to be born. And it doesn't matter how we get there, even if it means chaos, we're going to get to the other side because it's needed. That's Uranus. So you have that in Capricorn as well. So I feel like it's hard for you to probably have breakthroughs. It's hard for you to break free and to try something new and to break a certain system so you can rebuild something new. But again, these planets are more generational. So you're going to see their energy within the years. It's not something that you're going to so much see right now. This is maybe throughout the years. You'll see how this may affect you. Um, Neptune in Capricorn. Neptune is all about illusions, fantasies. It rules Pisces. Its modern ruler is Pisces. So it could be deception as well. Neptune can, you could be easily deceived if you have like Pisces and Neptune or something like that in your birth chart. You could be easily deceived, or you could easily deceive somebody else too. So Neptune is all about illusions and fantasies, and it could also represent somewhat of spirituality as well. But a lot of astrologers don't like Neptune. Let's just say that. Pluto. So Pluto is, well, some astrologers say that Scorpio now is its modern, or Pluto is uh, Scorpio's modern ruler of Pluto or whatever. But originally, Mars also um, was the ruler of Scorpio. So some people believe it's Pluto now. Some people still believe in Mars. Some people believe Pluto and Mars. I'm more of a Mars person, but at the same time, I also understand the energy that can also correlate Pluto to Scorpio. So you have Pluto and Scorpio. Pluto is all about transformation. It's all about destruction. It's all about, breaking something, completely dismantling it, completely just breaking it all down because the foundation of it was not working in order for you to build something up. It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes type of energy. Um, and then you have your North Node is actually in Capricorn. Oh, you have the North Node in Capricorn too? See, I have that
You
too. Yeah.
That's fire.
North Node is actually an asteroid, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So in Vedic, I believe, Vedic astrology, you have Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu is the head of the dragon, Ketu is the tail. So the head of the dragon is the North Node, and then Ketu, the tail or the end of it, is the South Node, right? So North Node is what we're aspiring to be in this life, where we're trying to reach, what we're trying to move forward towards, and eventually, this is, some astrologers say that this is the closest thing you can get to like fate or like your destiny is your North Node. And then your South Node is what you need to let go in order for you to reach to your fullest potential of the North Node. So the opposite sign of Capricorn is Cancer. So your South Node is in Cancer, which is the same as me. So I don't know if you have family wounds or family matters, traumatic experiences with your family, or maybe some beliefs that you need to let go of your family.
Oh
Or
yeah,
again,
oh
just
yeah,
like
most
some
definitely.
sadness, some traumatic events, just a lot of things that relating to family and having a family or your idea of a family. They need to let go. You need to let go of that. I understand, because trust me, I'm doing the same thing. Been doing the same thing for years,
Oh yeah,
and it still affects me a little bit now. But it's. I mean, I'm way better. Don't get me wrong. There's still, more healing to do, because healing is it's not.
it's a
I
lifetime journey.
healed, right. It's very linear, and with time, there's going to be some stuff that will pop up that you thought you were over, but you realize that maybe you're not. There's still something else you need to heal from. There's still something else that you're not listening to or needs to be, brought to your attention. So trust, I understand. But yes. So I believe I covered everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was awesome, man. That was really, really good. So when it comes to the compatibility chart, Mystic Red, do you think that the compatibility chart for love is accurate?
If you go to like cafe astrology or something like that and you put in your time and your birthday and all of that, you do have the ability to do like a love compatibility. Do I believe it's accurate? Absolutely. Why? Because I've done it myself. Um, but this is more than just love. Like you could see how you're compatible with somebody, period, as a person, as a friend. If you're gonna, if your energies are matching well, are you be able to understand them and communicate effectively with this person? Um, is your love language the same? Things of that nature. It's not just romantically. You could do this with anybody, just to see if you guys, will be receptive to one another. Because there's some people that you just can't get along with. It is what it is. So compatibility is great if you just want to know if you can just be, receptive with another person. But yes, it is definitely. I've seen it. I told you that I have a Leo that doesn't leave me alone, and Leo is my opposite sign because I'm an Aquarius. I did the love compatibility with this person. No, we're not together, but we have a past. Okay, it's complicated. But there's some things in there that definitely correlate to the dynamic that happens between us. There's also this app that I love, and if I could recommend any other app, it would be this one. It's the pattern. You can get it on your phone. Um, just download the pattern and put in your birth information. You do need to know the birth time. So that is a requirement for you to really know, your birth chart and everything that's happening. But it'll break down your birth chart. It'll break down when the new moon comes in, the full moon, the energies currently that are at play, and how they may be affecting you or how you may be feeling. Things of that nature. The pattern got you. It'll put everything there for you, keeps you up to date. I love the pattern. Love it. But yeah. And if you they have the ability to have a chart compatibility with somebody. You can do it as a friendship or you can do it as a love thing. And it's very accurate. Very, very accurate.
That's what's up. Okay, I'm gonna
Mhm.
definitely check that out. The pattern app.
Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to zodiac signs, are there like particular careers that certain zodiac signs should keep their mind open to? Like, I know that I'm a Sagittarius, and that's fire, and fire. In some belief systems, it deals with politics, war, things of that nature. But Mr. Grant, in your opinion, what careers should certain zodiac signs keep their mind open to?
Um, Honestly, I feel like it's more than just, what sun sign you are. It really, like, I could, let's say I'm an Aquarius, so Aquariuses would be like, oh, well, you should do something with computers, or you should something with technology because Aquarius is innovative. Aquarius rules technology, blah blah blah. So automatically, I'm sure you'll be fine with technology or a computer. Don't get me wrong, I like computers and all that stuff, and I could be in a computer for days, but more so for gaming. But as far as like, I don't know, fixing the computer, coding, things of that nature, it doesn't interest me. Hell no. So it's more than just your sun sign. I'm sure you are a Sagittarius. Um, I could definitely see you as like a guru or like a teacher or something like that. But again, you need that like structure, or else it's not going to work. Like you need to embody that North Node in Capricorn. You're aspiring to have more discipline and more structure, and to implement like a system for you to be able to work in this system in order for you to really put your time and energy and focus to the best it could possibly be. But does that mean that any Sagittarius walking around wants to be a teacher or a guru? No. So it's more than just your sun sign. I feel like everything has to come into play. Everything in your birth chart really has to come into play for me to really be like, oh, well, this would be great for you, or this would be great for you. Like, for example, my 12th house is in Libra. So that's my subconscious. That's my hidden self. Some people say, well, if you have a 12th house in Libra, then that means that maybe you are a cosmetologist or a beautician. You like to do hair. Funny fact, I actually did go to school to do hair. Funny fact. I did do it for a little bit, actually, funny fact. But was it really something that I could see myself doing? And it was like, you know what, this is it. This is my calling. This is my passion, and I want to do this for the rest of my life. No. So again, it's you really have to really dissect your birth chart and to see what is happening, what's going on, what the planets are trying to tell you. So for some people, it could be as easy as, again, you're a Sagittarius, and I could see you being a mentor, a guru, a teacher, and you could probably see that too, right? But for another Sagittarius, they could probably be like, hell no, why? I don't want to teach, you know? So it could go either way. That's why astrology is a beautiful thing, because it gives you a general basis of it, but it doesn't really tell you always exactly what it's supposed, like it's not going to tell you upfront everything that it is. Sometimes you have to it's a little bit more deeper than that. That's why I love reading the birth charts, because it is deeper than that. It's way deeper than just your zodiac sign.
Mystic Red, I'm in a Sagittarius group, like
Mm,
yeah, it's on Facebook. It's like a
okay.
Sagittarius group, and a lot of the times, they call it dozens on each other. They say, you a November Sag, or you a December Sag, and December Sages have this type of quality, or
Oh,
November Sag has this type of quality. Is there a difference in when it comes to the months, in correspondence
okay.
to the zodiac?
So there is a thing called a decant. Okay.
Mm.
So what a decant is, I'm going to read to you what it says on my astrology book. So it says each astrological sign is divided into three parts, and each part is called a decadent or a decan. The terms are used interchangeably. The word comes from the Greek word dekanoi, meaning 10 days apart. The Greeks took their word from the Egyptians, who divided their year into 360 days. The Egyptians' year had 12 months of 30 days each, and each month was further divided into three sections of 10 days each. It was these 10 days sections the Greeks called dekanoi, or a decan. So astrology still divides the zodiacs into decans. There are 12 signs in the zodiac, and each sign is divided into three decadents. You might picture these decans as a room. You were born in a certain sign, for example, a Gemini, that consists of three rooms. Which room of Gemini were you born in? The zodiac is a 360-degree circle. Each decan is a 10 degree of that circle, or about 10 days long. Okay. So decans are 10 days long, or 10 days apart. So if you're a Sagittarius, you're born, well, how they explained it, right? There's three rooms. So there's three types of Sagittariuses that you could technically be or aspire to be or whatever. So there is some truth to that. However, like, I don't know. Like I don't get so caught up in that. Again, I'm more of an energy reader. I read how you are, and if I see some other energy that I'm assuming it's something else in you in your chart. But it definitely is a thing. It definitely is a thing. I'm more of an energy reader. That's just me. I don't, be paying mine to decans or things like that. But it is technically true. There may be a little bit of a difference, but yeah. So for you, when's
Very
your birthday,
interesting.
exact birthday again?
Oh, it's November 27th.
27th. Okay, so you are 27?
Yeah, 2/7.
Hold up, I'm tripping. Okay, November 27th. So November, you're in the first decan of Sagittarius. It
Okay.
says, for Sagittarius, it says honesty. That's keyword honesty. Um, your planetary ruler, of course, is Jupiter. You look for experiences. See, like, I feel like you are more truer to a Sagittarius than others because,
Mhm.
again, the first decan for you, the planetary sub-ruler for that decan is Jupiter. So I think maybe you're more in the I want to learn, I want to experience, I want to, you know, put myself in situations or whatever so I can intake everything that I can. There's others that are, for example, the second decadent of Sagittarius, their sub-ruler is Mars. Maybe that one's a little bit more aggressive.
Mhm.
Yes. And like the later Sagittarius is at the end, yeah, I think they're a little bit more prideful. They're more like vain about it. Um, they maybe use their intuition and their gifts as like a I'm better than you type of thing. Because Sagittarius can sometimes be that way. Like
Mhm.
what I say is what
Yeah.
I say. And you can't tell me otherwise. So there is definitely some differences, but
Okay. Okay, my next question is, are there signs that are considered more powerful than other signs? Because I always hear that I always hear my sign is a very powerful sign. I always hear
mhm.
a lot about Libras. I always hear a lot about Aquarius. But in your opinion, which are there signs that are considered more powerful than others, and which ones do you think from like ranking from like the strongest to the weakest, if that's true?
Um uh, I don't know, because I mean, from strongest to weakest, I feel like I mean, that could be subjective to whoever, that could change from people's opinions. Um, what I do believe is that there's some signs that um, have maybe stronger attributes than others. I don't want to say that they're stronger because every single sign is, has their own um, and has their own abilities and capabilities and whatever, have their own strengths and weaknesses. I don't want to say that one is better than another because we all need all zodiac
Okay.
signs. So,
Okay.
um, maybe the signs that for me, um, speak more on strength and resilience and endure more. Um, Number one, I feel like Capricorn does 100%. But see, that's because Saturn, again, I'm a very big Saturn person. I have a lot of planets in Capricorn. I told you I have a lot of planets in my third house, and my third house, Capricorn rules my third house. So I
Mhm.
have Saturn in Capricorn, which Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. I have Uranus. I have all the ones that you have, Uranus, Neptune. Um, and I also have Mercury in Capricorn as well. So the way that I speak is very Saturnian, is very authoritarian. Authoritarian? No, that's not even a word. But you know what I'm trying to say. I speak with authority. And I can be very serious sometimes. Like, I swear, I know like a lot of people probably see me and they're like, damn, like she seems like she's just hates her life, or she's bored, or she's a bitch, and or she doesn't have any sort of sense of humor. That's very much like me at work. I can be very much, I could be like, I could be very put offing. I give that energy sometimes. Um, but um, Capricorn, I believe that goes through so much because, you know, Capricorn has a lot of hard life lessons, I believe, and it has to go through so many lessons in order for them to reach um, their fullest potential. But to get there, they had to go through a lot. They had to go through a whole lot. Um,
Mm.
Scorpio as well. Scorpios have gone through so much, so many traumatic experiences. Although sometimes I feel like Scorpios do that to themselves. Like they may know that maybe I shouldn't do this or maybe I shouldn't do that, but they still choose to do it anyways, or choose to go through certain things even though they knew better, and they have to
Mm.
kind of learn the hard way. Um, Aquarius can also go through things as well because Aquarius, Saturn also rules Aquarius. Um, and Aquarius is very much like rigid in the way that they think, and they need to be able to change the way that they think. Aquarius is a fixed sign, so to any of the fixed signs, that's Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, stubborn as fuck, stubborn as fuck, and they can't change their mind. It's very hard for to persuade them. You have to. There's this astrologer that I watched that he says that the fixed signs, they don't bend, they snap. So,
Mm.
like the mutable signs, like Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces, they're all mutable in different ways, right? Because one is fiery, one is water, one is air, and the other one is earth, right? So, mutable in their own different elements, but they can move around and change and be adaptable to change. They're okay with that, they're used to that. A fixed sign is harder for them to adapt to change. They want things to stay the same. Um, so it's hard for, I think, um, fixed signs as well. They also have a hard time, I feel like, in life because they have to be broken down so many times for them to see, like, you know what, you can't always stay the same. Because if you stay the same, there's no change. If you stay the same, then how are you going to move forward? So, as far as strongest, um, again, I said Capricorn, I said Aquarius, I said Scorpio. Aries, Aries can as well. Although Aries, I feel like have to go through a lot as well because they can be so reckless, and so they do before they think, and then they kind of have to piggyback and like, damn, like why did I have to do that? Why didn't I? So at some point in time, I feel like Aries, they have to also learn the hard way because it can't just go your way. It can't just go a million miles an hour. You can't just say something and expect people to do it. You can't just say something and expect people to just go with whatever it is that you're saying. Like, I feel like Aries, they have to show people that you can trust them and you can confide in them, and that they know that whatever the Aries does or says is for their own benefit. Like, but Aries needs to get there. And how they get there is by their sister sign, Libra. Libra is all about connections, relationships, the other person, right? Relating to people. So
Mm.
Aries needs to learn to relate to people and to get to their level. It's not all about your high and mighty ego and what you want to do, but where you can meet in the middle with others so that you can work cohesively and you can get shit done. So Aries needs to hit their head against the wall a few times to do that. Also, I feel like some Aries people have had chaotic mothers. I've heard that that's a thing. I don't know. Obviously, this is not going to apply to every Aries in the world, but some Aries placements have had chaotic mothers, and that's kind of why they had to adapt and grow into who they were, or the way that they move around is kind of based off of their family dynamic or their home life. Um, who else has had it hard? Off the top of my head, let me talk to him about one more sign. We could talk about Leo. Um, Leo, Leo can have it hard a little bit sometimes, but Leo is another fixed sign where um Leo's like for me, I have a Leo moon, so the way that I express my emotions is very like proud, like very one of my friends told me that I give the energy of like a royal or like a like a queen, and I totally see myself in another life. Like I was somewhere in the Renaissance, I was somewhere in courts with a prince waiting to marry. I had the frilly dresses. That was me. I could totally see myself. But she told me that I give like this royal energy sometimes. And I knew that she was picking up on my Leo moon because Leo is about, being prideful, boastful, that royalty energy of, I deserve this and this is me, and um people love me for me, and some people hate that about Leos because they don't see like, well, what the fuck do they see in them? Like, what's so great about a Leo? Oh wow, they're funny, they're charismatic, they're this, they're that. Like, okay, and like people can like put their evil eye on Leo energy like crazy because Leos have it in them automatically. They're blessed by God. They're given like gifts and abilities that other people can't do, and it's only like they have that job specifically. It's Leo. And Leo, like the sun rules Leo. So naturally Leo is gonna be in the spotlight. It's ruled by the sun. So a lot of people can cast that negative, that evil eye on Leo placements, um, because they don't have the spotlight for themselves. And they hate that somebody else has the spotlight but not them. So at some point in time, Leos need to stop caring about what other people think. But at the same time, Leos are going to go through a lot of periods of time where they don't believe in themselves either. Like they need people that believe in them. They really do. They need good people around them because if they only have people that are either trying to gain something from them or people that leech off their energy. I had a friend like that. I still have her as my friend, but I put some boundaries around that. But she would leech off of my energy, my good positivity. And, because she didn't have that self worth, just her in her own energy. So I feel like I had to also give some of, myself to her so that she could feel some sort of way. But at the same time, that could be a little bit draining because if the Leo is always giving their sun, right, their natural born abilities and gifts and that spotlight and their love, because Leos love hard. They really do. And they're putting that to that person. That could be a little bit draining because if they don't receive anything back, or the Leo's always giving and pouring to them, but that person still hates themselves or not trying to do anything to benefit themselves. And the Leo's always constantly doing that's no good for the Leo either. Because I feel like at some point in time, the Leo is gonna feel like they're gonna feel drained and they're gonna feel used and they're not gonna feel appreciated. And I feel like sometimes too, Leos may attract um Leos, like especially an underdeveloped Leo, a Leo that doesn't believe in themselves just yet, and they haven't built up that confidence, that self-esteem. They're gonna be surrounded by people that use them because that's the only way that the Leo's gonna feel good about themselves. Like, oh well, this person needs me, this person, wants this and this, they love me, they appreciate me. They No, it's because they see what you're not seeing in yourself and they're using that to their advantage. So sometimes Leos need to realize that they don't need nobody else's validation but their own. They don't need nobody's like boost or whatever or nice words or whatever from nobody but their own, because Leos need to boost themselves up. They're the sun. Like their energy source comes from within. So they're gonna automatically attract their tribe because that's what they're here to do. They're here to stand out. They're here to perform. And they're gonna automatically attract the right people for them. They're not supposed to go looking for them. They're supposed to attract them naturally. So
Mm.
I can keep
That's
talking
what's
and
up.
talking.
No, it's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. Did you wanna
Yeah.
okay. So what signs do you consider to have like, this extreme amount of luck, things go
Luck.
their way, which signs do
Oh,
you think deals with a lot of luck?
definitely Leo, but I feel like um, maybe not in the beginning. Some do. Again, it all depends on your chart, all depends on the planets and everything else that's going on in your birth chart, but definitely Leos, um, on a generalized basis. Um, Sagittarius can too, just because it's ruled by Jupiter, you may attract a lot of opportunities, a lot of people. You may attract a lot of different things in your life that you never thought. But sometimes I feel like maybe Sagittarius there, it's like they take some things for granted. Like, damn, why didn't I do that? Or why didn't I do this? You know,
That's very true.
yeah. Or I should have, done this when I had the chance or the opportunity. And that's because I feel like Jupiter is all sometimes so giving that you guys kind of don't even think about it sometimes because you're naturally used to something else coming up or something else popping up, you know? But sometimes there's certain things, certain chances, opportunities, or things that it won't pop up again. And this is your only chance. So it's like you need to, not every opportunity that you're given is the right opportunity to take. Like you need to really decipher like what is actually for my benefit and what is not. You have to choose. You can't just pick whatever Jupiter gives you because I feel like Jupiter does test you sometimes too. So choose wisely. But Sagittarius can as well. Um, who else gets some good luck? Pisces does too, just
Yeah, for
because.
some reason, yeah, they do. Man, I see that.
And like
Yeah.
it's funny because sometimes Pisces, I love Pisces placements, but at the same time, they can be so frustrating. But I love them at the same time. Like the love is always there. It's just I just want to like strangle them sometimes. I know it sounds terrible,
One of
but
my worst ex-girlfriends was Pisces.
really? Oh
My first
no.
girlfriend, she was just like, oh man, that was a horrible situation. She was
Oh
a
my
Pisces,
goodness.
but she was very like, it was like, oh my God, like the luck that she had was just inevitable. She was just like
Mm.
money, cars, houses, all this stuff. It just comes to her. She doesn't have to work hard.
Hmm. Yes. Again, because Jupiter rules Pisces. I feel like sometimes I don't know, like Pisces can be all over the damn place. It could be here and there and everywhere, and sometimes
Mhm.
you don't know where the fuck they're at. It's like they're all in their own little la fantasy world, and you're trying to like see what the fuck, you know.
Mhm.
Like where do you go sometimes? Like for me, I deal with the Sagittarius, I told you, but his Mars is in Pisces. So the way that he asserts himself, the way that he moves around, I'm a Mars and Gemini. That's an air Mars. That's like I need to communicate. And like for me, I need to know things. I'm going to ask you 20 billion questions, even if I asked you the same questions yesterday or a similar question. I'm going to still ask you some shit because I need to know. That's the way that I like to move around by knowing things. And if I don't know, I'm going to ask. But
Mhm.
him, he's more of like, well, you should know already. That's the Piscean energy. Like, you should know from within. No, motherfucker, sometimes I don't know. You need to verbalize it. Like, Pisces, that's why I'm like, Piscean energy can be very hard to describe sometimes because it's a very much that you have to be like in sync within yourself. your spirit to know certain things. And you know, a person that may not have Pisces energy in them, Pisces placements, or maybe not even water energy, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, or how, what do you mean I have to know? It has to come from within. Man, it's sometimes the way that they move around does not make any sense. Um, they do need some structure though. Pisces energy needs some structure because I get it, y'all go with the flow, similar to Sagittarius, and y'all just feel things out and just let things come to you. And just Pisces energy is very much like I trust in whatever's gonna come. Whatever comes my way, it's supposed to come my way. You know, it's like I'm not going to second guess it. I'm not going to whatever. I'm gonna trust that everything is working out towards my benefit and everything's going to work out in some way, shape, or form, even though I don't know. And I'm just going to live in the unknown and just wait for it to happen. Like that's Pisces energy. And magical things happen in that energy for them. Like it's crazy. Like they're really tapped in, but sometimes Pisces energy I've seen, like I have a best friend and he has a Pisces moon. Okay. So the way that he expresses his emotions is very Piscean. So confused. That's one thing. Piscean energy, especially if they don't trust in their own intuition and their own backbone, they can be confused damn near all the damn time. They can be confused. Like he asks me for things all the time. He asks me like, is this what this is supposed to be? Or what is this? Or oh, I didn't know that. Like it's the littlest things. And it's like, oh wow, I never thought like that could happen. Pisces can be confused. They could live confused for a long time, especially if they're underdeveloped and they don't build up that intuition. They'll be confused. My best friend has no interest in astrology and spirituality in nothing. He doesn't he's more open-minded now, don't get me wrong. He's a Capricorn, by the way. He's a little bit open-minded now because he sees me doing it. He sees that I get clients for tarot and I have astrology books and I have, a bunch of books really. So he's more open-minded, but he's not interested in nothing like that. I don't talk to him about nothing like that really. Because I know that's not his forte and he's not open to it. But I definitely be peeping on how he is and see, since I see that he's not tapped in and he has a Pisces energy in him, I know that he's just hasn't built up that intuition in himself because he's not tapped in. And that's okay. Some people are not meant to be tapped in or meant to awaken in this life. Um but yeah, Pisces energy can be very confusing. But they can be very lucky. Some things just work out for them sometimes out the blue. And that's because I feel like Pisces has a bigger mission in this world. Pisces has, I feel like, the mission of spreading love, um, of spreading openness and oneness and acceptance of one another. um there's some underdeveloped ones that can be a little chaotic and a little emotional, a little too emotional. Like my Pisces friend, he, like I said, he has a Pisces moon, and when he gets mad, holy crap, it's like the Hulk came out and he's ready to fight somebody. Well, not really, but emotionally he's there. He's all the way there. And the thing about Pisces energy, I feel like I have a friend that told me this. He has a lot of Pisces placements. He says sometimes the emotions that we feel, we latch a story onto them that story may not be true. Um, and we put in this story, and it's not even the story that it is. Not even the thing that actually happened is not even the story that I just put into this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh. So that's where like Pisces can be believing certain things that is not really true. That's where their intuition needs to be, more refined, because then they'll start believing whatever it is and they get just um consumed by the emotions, that their intuition is not letting them see the reality of it.
Wow, that's deep right there.
Mhm.
That's deep. Ladies and gentlemen, if she didn't get to your sign, you can follow Mystic Red on Facebook. And we're gonna get to her other, the other ways that we can reach her on social media and other ways. What Mystic Red? What is a retrograde, and what are we supposed to be doing during such a time?
So right now we have the Mercury retrograde and it's in Virgo. So when there is a planet in retrograde, it's usually um it's usually asking you to believe in this energy, but you have to believe it even though you're lacking it. Does that make sense? So let's say like Jupiter is in retrograde. Jupiter is all about abundance, opportunities, blessings, spirituality, all that jazz. So if it's retrograde, it's asking you um, to where is that faith, even though you don't see anything right now, even maybe you don't see maybe the hand of God on you right now. Where's your faith in that, anyways? That's where the retrograde comes in. So right now we have Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury, direct is about communication, planning, logistics, expressing one another, exchanging ideas. In retrograde, it's usually depending, of course, on the house it's in as well. That's why knowing your birth chart would be important because it's gonna hit you differently. But wherever Virgo is in your chart, how is that going to affect you? So, for example, I have 11th house in Virgo. So 11th house represents community. It represents like it could represent social media. It could represent like originally Aquarius rules that house. So it's like your humanitarian side, how you connect with people, a broader group of people. Um, so for me, I feel like the retrograde is asking me, how am I going to put myself out there, even though maybe I don't have the skills or the organization skills um, that I used to have with it being direct. How can I still implement that right now and still have the faith that everything is going to turn out the way that it's supposed to be, anyways? So retrogrades, you're kind of like going without something, and you have to believe that whatever you're being shown during the retrograde is going to be beneficial for you when it goes back direct, because it's showing you something that you completely skipped on, that you completely missed, right? So it's showing you something else that you didn't think of, that you missed. And you're supposed to intake the lessons that you're learning now. You're not supposed to really set anything in stone. You're not really supposed to make any sort of deals or sign any contracts. That's what the astrologers say. Don't sign any contracts, anything like that during a retrograde, because there's still some things that you're still uncovering. There's still some things that you need to know during this time. So let yourself experience it and really pay attention to what the universe is trying to bring forth into your life. What is it trying to show you? And just go with it. Go with it, because when it goes direct, that's when I feel like everything else is just gonna come and like make sense. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, yes, that was really good. That was really good. Okay, Mr. Grant, what services do you offer, and how can people in the audience reach out to you? Your different social medias, if you have a website, you know.
So the best way you can contact me, search me up, or message me would be through Facebook. My Facebook name is Mystic, that's with a K at the end, Mystic Red. And I offer tarot services. So I offer mini readings or full length readings. I also offer vent sessions where you're venting to me about whatever specific problem issue that is going on. I give you a reading. based off what you're telling me, so I can give you a little bit more information. Or I also offer astrology. So if you need like your big six, which is your sun, moon, your rising, your Mercury, your Mars, and your Venus, I explain all of that and how that is affecting you or how you express yourself based off those placements. Um, and I also offer event sessions with astrology. So if you're venting to me about certain something, I'll also do tarot. Plus, I'll look into what's going on specifically up in the sky currently and how that is also playing into effect right now and how that's affecting you currently right now. But again, if you want that, then I do need your specific time of birth. That's the only way.
Okay.
And
Very
then
good. Excellent.
I also have sorry, I also have TikTok. My TikTok is Redhead Empress at Redhead Empress on TikTok as well.
Okay. And do you have Instagram?
I don't. I know I have to get into it, but I'm not an Instagram person. I know. I'm not an Instagram
Okay. Yeah,
person.
don't feel bad. Me neither.
Yeah, I'm like everybody's using it. I'm not in it. It was hard enough for me to get into Facebook. So I'm like, I'm a Facebook and TikTok person. Yes.
Understood. Understood. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was an awesome conversation on astrological concepts with Mystic Red. We appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show with us, Mystic Red. Everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Till the next show, thank you for being with us on the Mind of Sankofa podcast. Everyone be blessed. Ashe.